Good day. What's up, everybody in YouTube land,
Good day, loves.
Instagram?
Welcome. We are not yet live on Facebook, but we are
Facebook
live
loading.
on Instagram. Hey, loves. Facebook still loading. Okay.
Come on, Mark. You already admitted to the to the censorship campaign. Let's get this. There we go. What's up, YouTube?
Welcome.
Awesome sauce.
We are live on Facebook now.
I mean Facebook. Pardon me. YouTube. Y'all stay ready. Welcome back to the Holistic Freedom Seekers podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Coach Soul Expression.
And I am Coach Tensi.
We make up Ufulu Child, and we are doing this podcast 5 days a week based on our 5-prong healing system, which consists of the concepts of be, cleanse, fuel, move, and shine, and coincide with the 5 days of the week. Today is Wednesday, so it's Fuel Day. And for Fuel Day, we have some interesting things to get into. Today's episode is entitled Fueling Your Soul, How Artistic Expression Heals the Mind and Body.
Yes. And before we get into diving into today's topic, I want to encourage everyone to take a moment just to subscribe, to turn on any notifications, say on YouTube, to be alerted whenever we do go live, because this content, if it's something that resonates with you, if it's something that you feel like more people need to hear, need to know about, then that will help us with the algorithm to get the word out to more people. And we would love to connect with you in the comments. So whether you're watching live or a replay, definitely tune into the comments, because that's where we begin to build community. And that's what we're all about. So,
Yep.
Some statistics, like why is it important that we even have this podcast and we even talk about holistic health? Why is that important? Like overall, people seem to be doing okay enough, right?
Wrong.
Well,
people are not doing okay enough.
Yeah.
People are trying to normalize not okay.
Yes. Unfortunately, that is the fact. Like, just to put some things in context with a few stats, 52% of American adults are facing either type 2 diabetes or they're pre-diabetic, which is
over half.
Crazy. 40% of children are obese or overweight.
In America.
41% of women are obese over the age of 21. In terms of autoimmune conditions, women are at least 4 times more likely to have an autoimmune condition. And in recent years, 79% of the incidences of early onset cancer has been diagnosed. So it's been increasing by 79%. So that is some stuff just to keep in the back of our minds, that this is something that's not only important for us, but if we want to actually change the trajectory of being able to even be alive, right, for our kids,
you're going to have to
reach our ages.
You're going to have to learn how to be, cleanse, fuel, move, and shine properly.
Yeah.
These are very important concepts. On B Day, we talk about the mind and mentality. On Cleanse Day, we talk about detoxing and cleansing out, as well as cleansing your space. Fuel Day, like today, we talk about fueling your mind and your body and your soul. Move Day, we talk about taking action. And Shine Day, we talk about authentic self-expression and community.
Because it's not our design and our fault as to how we got into these entrapments of health and all of this disease that's around us, but it is absolutely 100% our responsibility to learn and change and transform in the ways that are required for health, for fulfillment.
Mm-hmm.
Because when 34% of young adults are experiencing a mental, emotional, or behavioral disorder. We know that's 1 in 3 in a given space everywhere you go.
And I'd say that's probably a very conservative number. 34%
Yes.
have some sort of mental, emotional, or behavioral disorder. I'm pretty sure there's a lot more, a much larger percentage, probably more so around 50, 55% of people walking around with a mental disorder.
Yeah. And kids and teens with fatty liver disease, and they are also experiencing diabetes as kids.
One of my brothers caught cancer at 24 years old.
Yeah.
24 years old.
Yeah. So this is why it's important. And I know that it may be very discouraging, but that's exactly why we're doing this podcast, because you are not alone, even if like 60% of Americans have one chronic disease. Like, just look around you, everyone's sick, right? But the secrets in this podcast, go back through the episodes, the comment, and we customize episodes based off of the engagement that we get. And we're on this healing journey together. So we will absolutely be able to shift the tide for our health, for longevity, for fulfillment, if we band together and we really commit together to all this stuff.
To
We
getting
can do it.
to getting into a new paradigm, and to stop normalizing not being okay, and to stop lying to ourselves that we are okay, and to stop lying to others that like America is okay, or that the
The
school
world is
system
okay.
is okay, or that the food industries are okay, or that the medical industries are okay, or that the police are okay. That just all of that,
Yeah.
and stop all of that lying.
We can just look at the fruits of what all these things bring, and it's just more chaos, more disease, control, and suffering. And we don't need none of that. We ain't got no time for that no more. Okay.
Right. So today we're talking about how artistic expression can relate to healing, because tapping into your creative side, which is something that our analytical types don't do enough, is really a powerful, way to heal. Whether it's through visual arts, martial arts, performance arts, any type of art, right? Painting, um, anything. Taking a rake and doing the Zen patterns in the sand.
Yeah.
Um,
Design,
we're gonna
like interior design too.
yeah.
In your home.
We're gonna explore how creativity can be a powerful tool for healing. Now, uh, what we're gonna get into is three basic things. Firstly, the mind body connection. Secondly, basically the why behind the mind body connection, and then some personal reflections. We're going to tell you about ourselves and our own connection to art. As if you don't know, Ufulu Child, us and our business is a home for freedom seekers worldwide, rooted in both artistry and holistic wellness.
Yes, Ufulu means freedom. So we started out as artists. That's how we met. We met at a performance as a hip hop artist and poet, and as an R&B soul singer. So we bring together the arts in our healing modalities as well.
Yeah. So, first of all, what are some ways that we can artistically express? Well, there's the visual arts. Don't know if all of you can see, but that picture up there, let me see if YouTube can see. Yep. That picture up there, this guy, that's my piece.
That's sacred art, sacred geometry artwork.
Yep. I don't know if Facebook saw it, but hopefully you did. Hopefully you can.
Let me adjust Facebook so that
No,
you
Facebook can't see it at all. This guy.
Boom. And I can't reach. Okay, yeah, we'll just
both of those up there.
Yes.
I drew those myself. Visual art is a very powerful way to not only express yourself through art, but also learn yourself and become more self-aware when you're able to, let's say, tap into your creativity and allow your creativity to move your pen or your marker or your paintbrush across a piece of paper, and then something that has some symmetry and some life to it appears on the paper. Now that doesn't mean that you have to become really good at art in order for that self-awareness to start to bloom. It just means that you have to do something, right? You put your pen on the paper, you put your paintbrush on the canvas, and you
Uh-huh.
allow
Yeah.
yourself to express, or you allow the creative side of yourself to express through you and through your body, and then you can reflect on it, and that brings to you various like answers about
Mm.
who am I. Um, Very, very powerful stuff in visual art. Did you want to add to visual art?
I want to add to art in general because there's martial arts, there's the performing arts like dance, theater, and music, and poetry. There's the creative writing where maybe you're journaling, maybe you're creative storytelling, or writing poetry and maybe not performing it. There's that. It's of course a powerful tool for everything that you just mentioned, but it helps us activate our imaginations, which our imaginations are going to be one of the biggest things to help us out of the really harsh realities that um, the world just keeps trying to hamper us down and convince us that we are in this small little box and we only have one of two choices when we have infinite
Choices.
choices.
Hmm.
And we can always decide from a space rooted in that like inner anchor of what we know to be true. And one way that small hidden voice speaks through us is through our imagination and through those moments where we do create something. And like that creative energy is also like the Holy Spirit that's in the
Hmm.
breath. And so as we're creating something, whether it's on a piece of paper or it's something that we're sharing vocally through our the words that we share aloud, or it's something that in the movement of our bodies, whatever we're creating, these are some ways to really overcome the creative box, to think more critically and more holistically overall, looking at the overall lens of what's going on, and ways to really meet the moment in daily life and process some of those deeper traumas um, or things that maybe we've experienced and we didn't really know how to talk through it or how to even access it, but we're able to um, really get a deeper understanding through creating.
Yeah. And so to get into the mind body connection in all of these forms of art, I'll just briefly go over all of them. So visual art is a way to express yourself that can help process emotion and foster mindfulness. Martial arts is a discipline as well as a way to flow with your body, and also becomes a form of emotional release
Mm.
and fostering mindfulness.
And active
Performance
meditation.
art, yeah, performance art can help express deep seated emotions. So things that tie back to your childhood, things that tie back to certain events in your life that were deeply emotional events, whether it's deeply emotional good or deeply emotional bad. Um, they help express those things and give those things life, build confidence, right? Foster community, especially when there's an audience. Performance art is good for everything mentioned before, as well as those new ones that I just mentioned now. And then creative writing, whether it's journaling, poetry, storytelling, writing a book, writing a fiction, writing a nonfiction. It's still creative writing is a powerful tool for self reflection and healing trauma, as well as processing emotions and the other things that were mentioned. So all of these things have a deep seated mind body connection that's very important to express every now and again. You don't have to be good at them, but doing them is very necessary for healing in
Yes.
general.
Like, for example, one way that we apply this in our own lives is we, for the longest time, in addition to performing music um, in the performing arts, I journal like almost, if not every day, I journal several times a week. And it's something that really helps me to get it helps me anchor into some clarity of what am I experiencing and where do I need to be more uh, cognizant or aware or notice stuff that's going on in my life, and how to kind of move and see the patterns in life. So that's something that helps me. And then, of course, we also have our hip hop healing affirmation workshops that we do with kids and adults. And we teach creative teaching in the schools through our partnership with different nonprofits here in Austin, Texas. And it's very beautiful to see the fruits of more like a deeper sense of not just belonging, but real life integration of knowledge so it can turn into wisdom. And there's this unlocking of what I feel like is our potential that happens when we actively and again and again engage this part of ourselves because it helps to bring balance. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so a lot of you out there might be listening to this and that you're like, okay, well, I feel stuck. When I go and sit and try and be creative with something, anything, um, nothing really comes to mind. I don't have any inspiration in that direction, or I don't anymore have any inspiration in that direction.
Mm.
Everything feels very embarrassing. And even though I would be doing it for myself, I'd want to eventually share it with somebody, a best friend, a family member, or something.
Mhm.
And I'm just too embarrassed to even begin because whenever I think of that, I just get really overwhelmed and stuck.
Mm.
There are ways to overcome stuckness, and should probably start telling a little bit of a story to get into that. I remember when I was, I've basically been in creating music since I was 10, 11 years old or so, somewhere around there. When I learned to use my imagination and put writing and my imagination together very well.
Mm.
And the one of the first experiences that I had as a youngster, um, was that I was trying to learn how to write singing words. So not just rappy words, but write where you're going to be saying the word for a certain amount of seconds, which is different from writing just like what you're going to talk, right? Writing stuff that you're going to talk at a certain time. And that was very difficult for me. And so I felt stuck and I felt embarrassed and I felt uninspired to get into, writing song lyrics and things like that. And then one day for Christmas, actually, my older brother Eddie, he wrote half of a song for me, and he gave it to me as a Christmas present. And it wasn't like a present, like a PlayStation, or some sort of traditional like Christmas present where you get a toy from the toy store. He actually did something creative for me, which, I don't even think I ever finished that song, but it did get me to start writing other songs. Um, and that's just because he's much older than me. He has a few years on me. So um, every time I went to try and finish that song, his first half was so much better than mine. I just kept throwing it away. But I kept writing music because of that. And so sometimes, well, I'm better now. Sometimes a catalyst is necessary for there to be, some sort of consistent expression flowing through you. And that's what happened for me. And I found out that I wasn't actually uninspired. I was just scared. And so on, oh, she got gas.
Yeah, okay. I'll be right back, loves.
I think it's probably some bubbles. But I found out and started reflecting on how it was just, different forms of fear that were keeping me blocked. And so um, throughout this podcast, we go over lots of tips and tricks for overcoming blocks like fear and anxiety and sadness and all of these experiences that we're all very familiar with. And so definitely check out some of the previous episodes. It's episode 43, guys.
Oh my gosh. Hand claps.
And check out some of the previous episodes, as well as to stay tuned for how to overcome these blocks to creativity, because getting started and getting into it and then eventually having fun with it is definitely, again, a huge part of healing, as well as building self-awareness and confidence in yourself and all of these things. And we just have, there's the mouse, a couple more little small points that we want to get into. First of all, find in your community different guided art activities. We just did a guided painting activity a few days back.
Yeah.
That was led by Shylon and Steven. And basically what it was we arrived at a place. It was in the lobby of a leasing office at apartments. And there were little paint easels. I sat down at one. My wife sat down next to me at the other one. And they just went through step-by-step instructions on how to paint a very simple painting of looking out onto the water, and there's mountains in the distance. And it was great. And we didn't become Picasso. We didn't have the best paintings in the world. But doing that definitely got our creative juices flowing and became a very expressive and healing experience for us.
It was awesome. Shout out to 7 Art Party. I think that's their handle on Instagram and Facebook. So yeah.
And so we did this. It was like
the number
7 or 8 steps, right? Background, mountain, sun, tree,
So
grass, and then done.
Yes.
And it was super fun, as well as, I guess, like we keep saying, a part of our own healing journey.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so there are things going on in most people's communities, or things that you can organize yourself in your own community, that are guided art activities that don't require you to be experts. And you can participate in, which can get you started on expressing yourself creatively. And lastly, writing is very, very important. As Tensi already told a story, journaling is something that we both engage in very often. And it's how we self-reflect and how we stay grounded in truth, as well as how we build awareness of our own shadow, right? And begin to do shadow work and shadow integration and things like that.
Yes. Gaining the understanding. So in closing, remember that creativity isn't just about making something. It's about the process of connecting with yourself and finding a deeper meaning, a deeper sense of joy, or just clarity. And so next time, for Thursday's episode tomorrow, we're going to dive into the 4th part of our 5-prong healing system, which is move. So looking forward to exploring some intentional movement or action taking. And we are a real family. So you can go ahead and wrap up.
Yeah, like you said, tomorrow is Move Day. We're going to be talking about taking action, and we'll see you guys there. Make sure you subscribe, like, follow. Tell the algorithm that you like this content. You think other people will like this content, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.